We're always yearning to be as productive as possible. From the moment we wake up, we try to tackle through that to-do list as quickly as possible, continuously striving to check off these items off the to-do list. But our enthusiasm seems to fizzle out throughout the day, and it becomes much more difficult to get through things. Is that truly what productivity is? Is it normal to procrastinate? Again, does it have to do with who you are as a person? Or is it just that you have off days versus much more productive days? What is productivity? Well, let's dive into that topic, because it seems to be a very popular one. And truly, it is an important topic to better understand in order to utilize the tools as effectively as possible to become the most productive version of ourselves as we can be. Productivity has to do with utilizing our skills and the tools that are available to us to get through our action items as quickly as possible. Productivity might mean different things to different people, but ultimately it has to do with being efficient and effective in getting things done. Whether that has to do with getting through our to-do list for a day or our responsibilities over a longer period of time, productivity is applicable on any time frame. When we talk about being productive, we mostly think about trying to do positive things for ourselves, getting through something tangible that we can visualize as getting done. However, certain areas are much more gray and complex to understand in terms of whether or not it's been done. Productivity doesn't have to do always with things that are either done or not. Sometimes productivity simply has to do with that journey or experience that you're going through in order to get something done. Ultimately, if that item is not done, it doesn't mean that you haven't been productive. On the contrary, perhaps you've learned certain skills in the process that would enable you to be much more productive on the next time that you're trying to tackle that particular item. We need to really appreciate the journey of productivity as we're going through it, not just to always self-deprecate when things don't get fully done to a high standard. We need to be much more lenient in understanding what it truly means to be productive and what that learning experience would really equip us with. Since it is past the mid-year mark, it is now time to roll up our sleeves and get geared up to check off that pending to-do list. That to-do list that we had set out to achieve at the beginning of the year for 2025. When thinking about productivity, begin the process by defining your priorities. Again, refer back to the goal-setting process that you had created for yourself for the year. First and foremost, identify clearly your end goals. Based on those 2 points that are very critical for the process, create a customized framework. We'll get to that in a second. You can only drive productivity through personal motivations. What motivates you is very different from what motivates me or anybody else. Only then can you strive to unlock your true potential. What does that mean? When you get your goals done in a productive manner, you'd be able to unlock certain talents that you didn't even know were there. You need to peel through the layers to get to the core. But what does it mean to create a productivity framework? Do you need to sit down and pull out a blueprint and start creating something new? Not exactly, but that doesn't mean that you just emulate other people's productivity methods. You might be able to pick and choose certain aspects of how productivity works for different people, and then customize a process that works for you. First and foremost, at the foundation of it all is your vision, which is based on your priorities and hence end goals. You need to have that commitment based on your personal motivations. What motivates you to get things done? It might be as simple as a basic reward system, or perhaps the satisfaction of getting something done is enough motivation to you. You might need internal motivation or perhaps external motivation. Find what works for you. Based on that commitment, you need to define a very disciplined routine. Again, that doesn't mean that waking up at 5 a.m. and going to the gym and getting everything done before 10 a.m. is enough of a disciplined routine for you. Perhaps a disciplined routine means that you get to get your work done at night, or you must have that cup of coffee before you get started on anything, or perhaps a big healthy breakfast. A disciplined routine means sticking to it rather than pressuring yourself to get things done in a very quick manner. Of course, having a time frame in mind is critical. Yes, you might not get as much done as other people in a very short time frame, but that time frame is sustainable for yourself. Set realistic time frame goals for yourself to be productive. That might mean that you might take a day to get something done. Other people might take a week to get that same thing done. That's totally fair. We all work at different paces. Ultimately, creating the right environment for yourself is key. Some people enjoy getting things done with music in the background. Or perhaps you need to get things done outside of your home, or maybe in a particular room in your home. Or perhaps getting all your to-do list done at the office is very important to you, so go ahead and spend extra time there. Whatever environment works for you, whether that's a physical location or the ambiance that you create for yourself, that environment is what works for you. Adopt it and work there. Always refer back to the goals that you had created, listed out in a physical tool, whether that's on paper or digitally. If you always refer back to that, your mind will be reminded of what needs to be done in a particular time frame. If you create a productivity framework that works for you, that would truly be sustainable for the long run. So set the time to create that framework for yourself. Only then, once you've established a framework that works for you, would you be able to unlock your true potential for the long run.